Hey guys, it's Kira with another Fringe recap. Now this is like the fourth time I'm freaking doing this because the first time I filmed it over 11 minutes and I don't know how to cut it, which totally sucks. The second time my sister interrupted. Third time my cat jumped on the counter, so okay. Here goes fourth time. Lucky number, not really. Okay. So, before I say anything, I just want to say thank you to Fringe Insider for helping with the Fringe movement and like helping me promote myself and all that, because like now I have a lot of subscribers, so thank you Fringe Insider. And to you subscriber people, you guys rock. This is like really awesome. Okay, so was that episode not like totally awesome yesterday? Yeah, it was really cool, really depressing, but it was still really good. Retro flaunt and awesome theme song. Really, you guys like that theme song? It was so cool. Also, I think Fringe Television has like a download link to it. I'm not sure. I saw it on Twitter. I'll try and put it in the sidebar if I can find it. But you could download the like 80s Fringe theme. So I'm just gonna get on with it now. Pardon me, by the way. I usually use the Fringe Wiki like really detailed long recap that they have, like usually the day after the episode, but the administrator hasn't written it yet, so I'm kind of just going to have to wing it. But I remember a lot of stuff, actually, so it'll probably be okay, but sorry in advance if I miss anything. So, here goes. I'm going to watch the clock. Okay, so, it starts off with Walter. He goes to Olivia's house, and he's like, Olivia had no choice. She's like, I don't even know where to begin to discuss this or handle this or something like that. And they sit on the couch and he begins to tell her like the story and what happened with Peter and stuff. So it's like flashback with the retro font and stuff. And he's in this building, like sitting at a table with these other people, and like they're all holding cell phones, but this is like way back when, and they haven't created cell phones yet. So they're like, he's like introducing it for the first time. He's like, the cellular phone, we don't have it over here yet. And he's like, then how did you obtain this? And then he's like, well, they have it in an alternate reality. And then he's like, so you stole this from another world? And he's like, no, I copied it. So he takes them up like on the roof, and then his colleague, Dr. Warren, is there. And by the way, did she remind you of Astrid? Because she kind of did for me, but Astrid's cooler. Anyway, so like Dr. Warren's there, and she has this weird like square old looking device thing that looks like a window, but there's no like glass or anything. So they go up there and he's like, this is a window to an alternate reality. And like she turns it on and it's like this little like thin screen thingy that goes through it's hard to explain, but it basically looks like a screen, like the window looks like a screen. And she turns it around to like what they're looking at, which is, I think they're in Manhattan, New York. I do not know, but they were like on the rooftop of a building, and then in front of them in the window was a tall building and a blimp. But like when you like don't look through the window, there's nothing really there. So freaky. So he's like, you're looking into a window of alternate reality or the alternate world or something. And then it has the cool little theme song. So then after that, he begins to explain what happened with Peter. So like Walter, he comes home, and then his wife, Elizabeth, Mrs. Bishop, whatever you want to call her. By the way, she was an awesome actress. She did a great job. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. She's awesome. So, she's like, oh, Peter's been waiting to talk to you, but he's afraid he won't be able to. And then he shows a little record player, and then goes into Peter's room, and Peter's trying to, like, do this little coin trick with, this little silver dollar. This is a quarter, but I'm going to try and, like, show you what you do if I can do it. Go like that. Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm sorry. That didn't work. I can't do it, but you catch my drift, right? So he was trying to do that, but he couldn't do it, and then Walter was like, oh, let me show you. So he did it perfectly, and then he showed Peter, and then Peter did it right, and he was like, oh, good job. And then Peter was all like, Dad, I want you to have my lucky silver dollar if I died. I was like, oh, it's so sad. And he was just like sitting there like on his bed like all sick, and it's so sad. Anyway, there's even more sad parts if you can imagine. So, what was I gonna say? Okay, so Walter is like, oh, okay, the silver dollar. And, so after that, then he's like, nothing's gonna happen to you, don't worry. And then he, like, takes Peter and, like, holds him in his arms and, like, hugs him. And then, like, he gets this, like, weird look on his face. And I'm like, oh, gosh. And then he looks at him, and Peter's dead! Like, dead! He just, like, died in his arms! Isn't that the most depressing thing, like, ever? It's so sad. He's just lying there, like, all limp and, like, oh, it's so sad. And, sorry, I'm saying that a lot. And he, like, lays him down on the bed and just cries, and it's so horrible. I was, like, I hate it when Walter cries. Well, any old men who cry, it makes me really depressed. Probably the same with all y'all ladies. Anyway, so he's crying, and then I think the funeral's after that. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I didn't skip like a whole crap load of stuff. So at the funeral, they're lowering the casket into the ground, and like the guys saying the stuff, and they're all crying, and it's really horrible. Like Elizabeth's face just like killed me. She was so like heartbroken and everything. And Nina was there. She looked much younger too. Well, obviously it's a flashback, but makeup people, good job. You're probably not watching this, but that was cool. So, like, they're done, and then Elizabeth gets in the car, and then before Walter gets in, Nina's like, you know how much William wanted to be here, just the meetings, you know how they are, or whatever, and he's like, yes, I know. And then she's like, I'm sorry, and she tries to, like, hug him, but then he kind of, like, doesn't want her to touch him or something. And then he gets in the car, so, after that, let me see if I can actually remember what happens. Okay. So, I think this either comes before or after the next thing I'm about to say. But, sorry. So, he has the window to the alternate reality in Peter's bedroom, and he's like, oh, Elizabeth, come over here. And then he wakes her up from sleeping, and like, they look through the window, and Peter's alive in the alternate reality, and she's just, like, looking through it, and she's all upset, and then she looks, like, at the, like, his actual bed instead of the one in the alternate reality, and he's not there. She's like, how is this possible? And then he's like, it's an alternate reality. That's Peter. I want you to know that somewhere he will grow up, and he will have a good life, but just not here. And it's just really sad. But then, later, he's in the lab, and he's looking through the alternate reality window thing, and he's looking at Walternate, Walternate's trying to, like, create the cure, and the cure in the little bottle thing, it's, like, pink, and then, September comes in, the Observer September, and he, like, distracts him, and Walternate, like, turns around, and he's, like, talking to the Observer, and then the little cure thing, it turns blue, and then Walter's all, like, excited, which obviously means that he, like, got the cure if it turns blue or whatever, and he's like, you got it! By God, you got it! And he was so happy, and then it turned pink again, and Walternate turned around, and he thought he didn't actually make it, like it hadn't changed, but it did. It just turned a different color, and Walter can't say anything because he can't talk through the window to the alternate universe, so, like, basically, the whole thing is just totally ruined, and Peter's going to die because he, like, crossed off the little formula on his, the whiteboard with all the molecular stuff, chemistry stuff. So, like, Walter gets, like, really upset, and he's like, no, you had it, you just had to stabilize the compound. I don't know what that means. He's like, you just had to stabilize the compound, and he's, like, so upset that he throws this, like, flask or, like, glass, I don't know, and, like, right at the window, and it totally shatters. And then later, Dr. Warren comes into the lab, and Walter's working on, oh, wait, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta, go to part 2 now, so see you guys there.